Welcome to Story Time with Uncle Sage. All right, so this is the story of the time I saw not one, but two UFOs. So, imagine this. It's the 4th of July in Westminster, Colorado. And there is a lot of 4th of July fireworks to choose from in the greater Denver area. And my kids and my girlfriend at the time and her kid, we were all living in Colorado together. And we were going to go to the fireworks for the 4th of July. But I'm kind of I'm always looking for the path of least resistance, and I don't like having to wait in lines and traffic, and I'm always trying to find a better mousetrap. It's just the kind of guy I am. So I have this whole different method for looking at fireworks than other people. Instead of going to the designated area where all of the hordes of people are, lined up and jammed up together, I kind of circle around and find a back edge where there's a lot less people, where I can still see the fireworks, but maybe I'm not seeing them at the angle that the people are intending to. But I still get to see them. So this is the way I've always done it. I don't know, maybe it's unromantic or whatever to go look at fireworks, but it often ends up with me being in a parking lot somewhere, or a vacant lot or something, or on a dead-end road. And what's cool is I'm usually pretty much by myself, or with my group as by ourselves, and we don't have to deal with the crowds. When we leave, we go out a different way. So maybe it's smarter, maybe I'm just a weirdo, but that's the way I go see fireworks. So we did this for these Denver fireworks, when I think it was either Denver or Westminster that was putting the show on. But I did the usual thing, and I found a strip center where most of the businesses were closed for the day, and we had a slightly off angle to the fireworks, and there was nobody in the parking lot but us. And because we were a little further away, we were kind of on the edge of the flash zone. So when the fireworks would go off, it creates a flash where it turns night into day. And kind of like lightning does, where you have that flash of bright light. And we were right on the edge of that. So like behind us, it would stay dark. In front of us, it would light up. And also, because we were at a weird angle, we were kind of downwind from the smoke, so we were getting a little smoke interference. And, it was, to me, it's part of the show. It didn't change the way my experience was. I'll quit apologizing for looking at fireworks in a weird way, but it helps me avoid the crowds. But anyway, so we're watching the fireworks, and, I'm not that into fireworks, obviously, but I took the family. And I had a new girlfriend at the time, so I was kind of more interested in being romantic and holding her hand and getting a little closer, And so I was also kind of watching the stars, looking at the sky, not really paying that close attention to the fireworks. And I happened to catch something out of the corner of my eye. Right there on the edge of that flash line I talked about, where the light from the ignition wouldn't quite make it past, just right there on that edge between bright and total darkness. And silhouetted by the smoke that was drifting through the air from the fireworks, I saw them. Two triangular flying saucers, two triangular spacecraft. They were hovering, I would guess probably 200 feet off the ground. Let's see, if 3 feet's a yard, that would be 60. No, it would be more like 300 feet. A good 100-yard shot, I suppose, or better, up and to the left, and right at the edge of that bright edge of light and the smoke. And the thing is, by the way they were sitting, every time a shell would go off and that flash would happen, it would illuminate them and silhouette them from behind. So I could see them, the front half of the triangle being more visible than the back half. But when at the peak of those flashes, when the shells would go off, I could clearly see them, one hovering slightly above the other one. And they were both sitting side by side and kind of offset. And they were silent, and they were hovering. And I tell you what, I could have shot them up if I had a rifle. That I probably could have hit them with my Glock if I wanted to be aggressive, because they were right there. They were within gunfire range. And I watched them for a long time. They were solid black. They did have windows along the sides. There were no lights on at the time. And when I brought my girlfriend's attention to it, and all the kids, all of us, the whole group, we circled around a little further back, kind of at an angle, so we could get a better look, get them silhouetted more, and see these two triangular craft sitting there floating. And now here's the part that'll blow your mind. There were windows, and when we got lined out just right, we were able to get light silhouetted from one side of the craft window to the other. So imagine at the point, there being a window here and a window here, and we got it lined up by moving ourselves until we could see the light silhouetted through the windows from the other side. And we could see the pilots. They were human. They were just humanoids. They were, you know, if you know anything about 100 yards silhouetted view, that, you know, when that flash would flash up and light up the cockpit, I could see them pretty good. We all could, especially the kids. My son's got 2010 fighter pilot vision, and we could see them. They were military pilots in military jumpsuits, sitting there on the edge of the fireworks in the dark. They thought completely invisible in the night. And they were watching the fireworks with us. Isn't that like a couple of fighter jocks? We're just going to swipe the secret flying triangle hovering UFOs, take them over there to, you know, Denver and check out the fireworks. I swear that's what they were doing. It's the dangest thing. But I've known a lot of military guys, like my crazy pilot friend, who would take the airplane and fly over his house to make sure his wife wasn't cheating on him. Yeah, except these guys went to go see the fireworks. You know, my dad used to tell a story where a drunken Swedish soldier, I mean, he was American, but of Swedish descent, and he still had an accent, you know. And but my dad was, I guess it's racist now, but he would call him the Big Swede. But he used to tell me the story of the Big Swede who stole the tank to go to town and get beer. So this is not uncommon behavior in our military. It's been going on a while. But I suspect it was the TR-3B, a super top secret anti-gravity floating weapons platform that the United States military possesses. I believe that's what I saw. I don't think they were aliens, and I don't think those craft were from another world, although the technology may have come from another world. Those were made in the USA. My UFO story. Not as exciting as you thought, huh? But I saw two of them, and I watched them for about 30 or 40 minutes until the fireworks show was over, and they slowly drifted away. Sage wonder, the truth is stranger than fiction. All right, see you guys next time. Turn off.